US April job data missed big by 73%. Why? What happened? And then San Francisco is moving fund from police department to help black businesses. Will that work? And what's really behind it? And equality now extends to a new place, math. And so Kathy was pretty good in chemistry in her high school, and I was pretty good with the literature. But California Board of Education said, Wei can be as good as Kathy on chemistry, and Kathy will be as good as Wei in literature if there's a good teacher. Do you believe that? Arizona, what is really happening there? Okay, as we all know, the election audit, what's going on there? That's today's content. Now let's move on to the first topic, the April job data. It missed big, and how big and why is that?
Okay, yeah, so in April, just added 266,000 jobs.
Which sounds pretty good, right?
Yeah, in a normal month, it's not bad. But it just far less than what's forecasted. And also the unemployment rate ticked up to 6.1%. So Econoday predict in April there should be anywhere from 755,000 to 1.25 million jobs added, and the median forecast was 938,000. So we only added 266,000, and the unemployment rate was supposed to be at 5.8%. So in reality, it was 6.1%.
Mm-hmm. Let me insert a little context here. Remember, last quarter, U.S. economy grew by 6.4%, which is the fastest since 2003. Nobody should be surprised by that, because with the vaccination, being received by more and more people, business being opened, and also there's this, big stimulus package, not stimulus, the assistance package, $1.9 trillion. Okay, everybody's expecting the economy will take a very normal and a strong rebound. And the second quarter will be far, far faster than the 6.4% in the first quarter. However, in the first month, what do we got is it's a big bump. A big disappointment, right? Nobody expect that. So it is only 27% of the expected job number. And so Kathy, what do the experts say the reason is?
So the Labor Secretary Marty Walsh said, we still have a way to go, a steep climb from the pandemic and from the economic crisis we are in. So he was just saying, it's really, he admitted it's a disappointment. So what's the reason? The reason, majorly, there are three reasons from the expert. One is the massive government financial subsidy. We all know that. The enhanced unemployment benefit. That's the one big reason. Second reason,
because people don't work.
Right, because people rather just enjoy this unemployment benefit.
Yeah, and then go to work.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then second is the schools not reopen fully. So parents, at least one, has to stay at home to take care of the kids. And third is a pandemic-related retirement.
So what do you think matters most? Because this indeed surprised everybody. Okay, but it did happen. Only 27% of the job added compared to the expectation. So let's take a look at the response of two states. One is South Carolina. The governor yesterday he said this. The governor is McMaster. He said in many instances the payment from the unemployment benefits are greater than the worker's previous paycheck. Okay, and as he said, because of that, he ordered an end to the state's participation in all federal COVID-19 pandemic-related unemployment benefit programs. Okay, because he said we got a workforce shortage. We don't need those welfare check. And the Florida governor DeSantis is set to reinstate a requirement for those receiving unemployment benefits in the state to prove that they are looking for work. Because before the pandemic, for any unemployed person in Florida, for them to get the government welfare check, they have to prove that they look for a job. They approached 5 employers every week to receive the money for that week. Last year, the requirement was stopped because there are no job for you to apply to, and then now the DeSantis is putting that back. He's kicking people out of their the comfort of their home and go seek job, go work there. That's the response from these 2 states. But what about our federal government? The Labor Secretary, Marty Walsh, he said, basically he said in the last 3 months we added 1.5 million jobs to the economy, and he said he said hopefully the job growth will pump up in the summer months. He just hoped that would be the case. And then when he was asked about people not returning to work because they are enjoying benefit while staying home, he said, I don't think so. He said, I don't think so. He said, work is long term. Employment is the short term. So that should not be the problem. Do you agree? But to me, the common sense tell me, and I think the Secretary Walsh is right. Of course, work is long term. But if there's enough the checks waiting for me to pick up, I would enjoy employment for as long as I can do. So in the short term, I won't go to work. Even the restaurant, all the small business, they need job. They cannot find the workers. Mm-hmm. Now there's a serious shortage. I don't know whether you feel this or not. There's a serious shortage across the nation of a restaurant owner cannot find enough workers.
Yeah, like our viewer, Jyoti BK said, people will lose confidence to find a job if they are paid to sit at home. Indeed.
Yeah. So, okay, when the Labor Secretary said unemployment is short term, yeah, but they don't have to do this, short term unemployment. They can get employed, but the check is doing is working to the opposite of the intention, right?
Right, and like Larry Kudlow, the top economic advisor under Trump, said that a lot of economists from both sides all agree that the more unemployment insurance you poke out, the more unemployment you are going to have. And secondly, the longer the unemployment insurance lasts, then the longer unemployment is going to last.
Yeah, and then we are not even talking about the burden on our children, right? This is national debt. Those unemployment check, those welfare check, has a serious implication in the future because we print money, we record it as a debt, and our federal government and somebody will pay for it. It's our children will pay for it, and that will increase our national debt and the burden of our federal government. And then now I want to talk about one specific issue. Benjamin Franklin, back in 240 years ago, he said this. He said. Doing welfare is a very, very tricky thing, and he said government cannot do welfare. Leave the welfare for the people. He said that when you sympathize with the poor, you have to be very careful. Okay, our donation cannot encourage idleness, cannot breed debilitating dependency and weakness, cannot blunt the desire or necessity to work for a living, and cannot smother the instinct to strive and excel. Okay, if you do that, those donation activity, those welfare are evils. Samuel Adams went some step further. He said, for the federal government to do welfare, that's constitutional. That's unconstitutional. That's against the Constitution. To be honest, when I first read that, I was really surprised. Was it really? Really? Government do welfare, that's against the Constitution. Government all over the world does welfare. There's not a single government on this earth who does not do welfare. So naturally, I have this question to myself. If government is not allowed to do welfare, who's going to take care of the poor? Right. Okay, exactly. The founding father gave this answer in this, in this book called "The 28 Founding Principles of the United States." The founding father's answer is this. Hear me out and let me know how you think. He said, "Government cannot do welfare but except government, everybody else can do welfare. Everybody else can take care of the poor. So the logic goes like this, okay? For the government, the founding fathers said, compassion, we need to be careful with compassion. We don't want to generate an undesired effect. The solution is calculated compassion. Calculated compassion. The first is do not just take care of themselves completely, take care of the poor completely. To help them is only to help himself. Okay? Help a little bit so that he can help himself. The second, after the poor made the effort, then show your compassion. That way, he will keep making effort. The third is give him a ladder. Okay, use small welfare to encourage him to reach out for a bigger one. And then the fourth one is very important, can be applied exactly here. Only help with the emergency because people would run into emergency. Mm-hmm. Who would not in his lifetime? Help with the emergency, but don't help the poor. Help with the poverty. As soon as the emergency state is over, stop the aid so as to avoid growing the dependency.
So it's exactly what South Carolina and Florida governors are doing.
Our founding father figured this out 240 years ago. Mm-hmm. And our federal government today I won't say they pretend not to know this. They just don't know this.
Or at least they are not doing this.
Or they pretend not to know this. I don't know. So basically, government cannot get involved with the welfare. When somebody's saying this, when the founding father said this, I think he's gonna face question from 90% of our population, right? Because everybody said, what? Social Security, Medicaid, Medi-Cal, and we've been getting used to it. The government, of course, they need to take care of the poor, but the founding fathers said, no, federal government doesn't do that. It's not allowed to do that. It's unconstitutional. Okay, we have walked away far from our principle, from our constitution. If government does welfare, there are three effects. First, nobody will be watching the fund or watching the money. The money will be used inefficiently. The second, the giving party will grow, which is the government, will grow a lot of corruption because money passed people's hand. They could steal. There's opportunity, in front of them. The third, for the receiving people, they won't appreciate it. They took it for granted. It's government, of course, they need to take care of us. And then next year, if the government doesn't give them money, he will complain. So a good deed generates an adverse effect. So there's the three effects. Inefficient of the use of the money because nobody will watch that. It's the public's money. It's not my money.
Yeah, not hard-earned money.
The second, it will grow corruption. The third, it will grow dependency. And then, so the founding father said this for the common people, for the non-government people to give out the money and let them do the good things, show his compassion, give him the tax break. That person will take care of the money that he give out. Okay, that person will not corrupt because he took his money out and give it to people. And the third, the poor people cannot take it for granted because if he doesn't behave well, if he does not, receive job training and find a job, he may not receive that check because that guy is not obligated to give him money.
Yeah, and
does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sure, I think it does make sense. And actually, what Florida governor is doing is actually before. It's always been like that, right?
Yeah.
Even in California, you have to prove that you are while you are receiving an unemployment benefit, you have to show that you are actively seeking for a job. But obviously, in San Francisco, the government doesn't believe in what. Or doesn't agree with what Wei just said. But before we go on, I think probably our viewers are curious. We announced that we're gonna have a major announcement tonight, but so we want to let you know. Stay with us. We have an important announcement, right?
Yeah. I just want you to know this, and we will be changing the name of our channel from Sound of Hope News to Wei and Kathy Report.
Okay, so you wanted to disclose now.
Why do you do that? Why do you do that? What's the use of that? Why fuss over? Okay, to be honest, we haven't quite told you our story, right? Why we come here, and we'll leave that to another chance.
Yeah.
So basically, indeed, we intended to create a a news channel called the Sound of Hope News. We want to give you news actually, ideally around the clock. Okay, in the Chinese language, we already do that. We have a seven hourly news. Each is like 10 to 20 minutes. We have done that. We receive a lot of viewers, and then but for the English so far, the funding has been preventing us from that. So we just in the channel, the label is saying this is Sound of Hope News. We're supposed to bring you more than just one show every other day. Okay, so it does not live up to that name. So it is pretty much Wei and Kathy's report, right? So we want to change that name to Wei and Kathy report. I hope you can. That's fine with you. I know many of you really love the name Sound of Hope News, and we love it too. Our intention is this: we'll continue with the Wei and Kathy report for some time until we have the resource, we'll have the funding to really start doing news. Then at that time, we'll bring back Sound of Hope News. I hope that you won't mind it. And we are, journalists of Sound of Hope News. That's a company actually based in San Francisco. We have our Chinese program. We have our, Cantonese program. We reached 11 million people in last November. Okay, a single month. And so, the name is there, but we just want to, for now, if you don't mind, we want to change the name to Wei and Kathy Report. For now, and want to carry on for a while until we really can bring you regular news, frequent news every day, and one English program like this program every single day instead of every other day.
Okay. I was just saying that, okay, that's fine. You already announced. I thought we were going to wait until the end.
End of it.
That's okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let's go to the next piece of news. So in San Francisco, the mayor just announced that they will redirect $3.75 million to help the black businesses. And the money will come from the police, okay, the law enforcement. So it just announced a couple of days ago. And so what's the money going to be doing? It will support training, technical assistance, and the neighborhood revitalization in San Francisco's historically Black and African-American small business communities. And this funds actually are only part of an initiative. This initiative called the Dream Keeper Initiative, which was created last June after George Floyd's death. And totally, this funding will be 120 millions from the law enforcement budget. Okay, this is right now. It's the first small part of it, and Mayor London Breed said, across this country, in our city, we've seen how the black community's economic growth and prosperity has historically been disrupted and marginalized. So, but however, these $3.75 million actually are not directly invested to the black-owned businesses, but rather awarded to 17 African-American community organizations. And actually, they are serving, okay, black communities. So it's so very interesting. The San Francisco Chronicle had a report on it, right? But only the subject part has two words mentioning that this fund actually is from law enforcement. The whole report, the article, didn't say a word about where exactly it come from, where it's gonna impact the law enforcement departments. And the San Francisco Human Rights Commissions, which is one of the department to handle this money, they had a statement and didn't explain that either. So that this thing actually created a lot of reaction concerns from the community. For example, a San Francisco neighborhood watch leader, Dennis Ching, said, look at the community. The crime rates are skyrocketing. And last year, the pandemic, supposedly in a lot of the states and cities, crime rate actually decreased because of the pandemic, but not in San Francisco. In San Francisco, the robberies rose 50%. Murder, assault, car theft all raised. And he said, you might as well make car alarms the new anthem for the city because it just goes off all the time.
Yeah.
And he said, helping the black businesses is not a problem. The problem is that it's taking away money from the police, which we need that actually more than ever at this time because of the high crime rate.
And taking money from the police is only one side of the one issue, right? As we all know, it would impact the public safety, which has already happened. The second thing is this: taking this money and giving to this 17 black serving community organizations, and then this is not just the first time. In San Francisco, there are many so-called nonprofit organizations who just got money from the government, and then do their so-called good things. Right now, it's become much more commonplace all across the nation. So we got such nonprofit organizations, and the people working there receiving full salary. They're the full-time activists and do their own thing, and we've been getting used to this. Okay, they've been doing good things, helping poor, and the government give them money. Okay, but in the eyes, really, as I said, in the eyes of the founding fathers, those are all wrong. Okay, and this who is this giver? It's called Office of the Economic and Workplace Development. I would question this. After this office write the checks of the nearly $4 million and giving to this organization, what's the next thing would it do? Would he follow through and check every dollar and every penny to make sure it's well spent, or just move on to do other things? Of course, latter. That's what the government do, right? They are not trained. They are not structured. They are not designed or defined or tasked to making sure every dollar is well spent. And they don't have the capability to trace that. They don't understand all those businesses. So they gave the check, they walk away. And in that 17 black serving community organizations, the money is passing their way. Would some of them just steal some money out of it? I'm not saying this 17 organizations have any problem. I don't even know who they are. What I mean is that every person has a weakness. Some people, this is a breeding bed for corruption. Okay, so that's the second problem. The third, for the African American businesses or entrepreneurs or their community, after they receive the money, first, would they really appreciate it? Or they think this is taken for granted. Government take care of me. What if the next year they don't get it? Will they complain? Would they be always very appreciative for this precious help, and they would treasure every dollar, and then make a good use of it? Or they're gonna get dependent on it, thinking that $3.7 million will come every year. I expect that because I already got it. I need to get it tomorrow. I plan my budget on that.
Yeah, I noticed that because I actually, a few years ago, I did some research on the nonprofits in California. And I just noticed that some of the largest nonprofits, actually, their major fundings are from the government, from state government, city, county government. For example, one of them is Children's Council, which get part of this funding, the $3.75 million. They not only, support, serve the black community, but all the community. But my point is, it seems like in California, a lot of the nonprofits, their money is actually from the government. It's basically just what Wei said, is government is indirectly doing the welfare. That's what's going on.
And those nonprofits who serve homeless people, who help homeless people, city government gave them $500 million a year, $500 million a year. And you got this problem getting worse and getting worse and worse. $500 million. You divide that by 7,000, people on the street. What do you got? You got more than average salary in America. And then because what happened? Those money they were wasted, right? People steal it or they got to waste it, and then for the homeless people, do they feel obligated to receive job training, walk off street because they need that check? Nobody does. So Yeah, so this is the very problem that
Yeah,
we
I
face.
think So I think we're dealing with the different issues. Go back to this defunding the police, right? It's basically part of the defunding the police. And in San Francisco, already problem rise. The crime rate just rise, and to the extent that actually people now are recalling the San Francisco district attorney because of one of the reasons is the crime rate, and the second, the impact on the economy. So tourism is a very, very important part of the city's economy, and it's got impacted already because by the crime rate. So some experts said that actually SFPD will probably soon be asking for the money back. Why? Because in Los Angeles last year they decided to cut 150 million fundings from after George Floyd case. Okay, and then now the LAPD, they are asking for their money back. So people are predicting SFPD will follow the suit.
Okay, let's quickly move on to another piece of news. I still wish to share this with you because this is just I need to get this out of my chest. We have an education board, state education board of California. Okay, they publish a mathematics framework every so often. The most recent revision is this year, and that framework says this: all students are capable of making basically they deny there's people have different gift. If there's a good teacher, everybody have the same gift.
Yeah, they just outright in the framework they are saying we reject ideas of natural gifts and the talents, and they also try to delay the students to take like the calculus or statistics, and even just cancel some of the gifted class, which are for students who have gifts. So the reason being that the framework said the system of providing only some students pathways to calculus or statistics, data science, or other high-level courses has resulted in denial of opportunities to many potential STEM students, especially Latinos and African American students. So you see, the root reason for them is discrimination. So if you have a gifted students in math, it's discrimination to other students who are not so good at math. That's basically what they are saying.
Yeah, it just so happened that Asian people, they're very, very good at math. And
give you some data. Actually, this is one of the reasons they are quoting. In California, in the years 2004 to 2014, 32% Asian American students were in gifted programs, compared with only 8% of white students, 4% black students, and 3% Latino students. However, within the gifted programs in California, actually 40% of them are Latino students. So they are canceling this program. Are they just really hurting the Latino students? They are almost half of the class.
Yeah,
it's just so the
Latino,
the base is bigger.
Yeah. So basically, they want to cancel those advanced. What was the name of such class? Advanced class.
The gifted.
The gifted class, because they think it's not equal. It's inequality. They want to cancel that. Everybody heard, and then. How about this? Let's apply the same logic, right? Because Asian are really good, ratio-wise, so good at math. So if we don't admit that, we want the equality there, then, in the NBA, there are 529 players as of now, right? Not Asian people, let's say it's Chinese people. Chinese people has 1.8% of the population, and Asian is 6%. Put it this way, 6%, right? So we gotta have 34 Asian player in NBA, no matter how bad they play. We have to get them there because that's the equality. So, we're going to get into this kind of nonsense debate everywhere, all the time. We're just arguing, in the NBA, how many Asian players should be, how many Chinese players should be. instead of focus on playing good balls. And
for the audience, what they would want to watch, right? Do they want to watch like a balanced, racially equal players, or the players who can really play it well? Mm-hmm. And also another thing interesting, very interesting in this framework is that they claim that the white supremacy culture is all over in the math class. What are the evidence? One of them is the focus on getting the right answer. And then second, independent practice is valued over teamwork or collaboration. That's white supremacy. Another example is students are required to show their work. That's white supremacy. And we ask our Chinese language viewers, the examples, the evidence of white supremacies actually all, it's all what in China, for the Chinese, for the Asians, most of the Asians, they would agree with that if they want their kids to be, to study well.
Yeah, that's all the, how to say that, that's all the pride we take in, right?
Yeah, it's the common, it's commonly agreed standards for students, right? And but now they are branding this as white supremacy culture. And in our radio show today, actually I did that, a live show, and one of the guests just saying, actually the Asians, especially the Chinese Americans, they have been branded as white adjacent. So they're gonna be, we're gonna be part of the white supremacy as actually. It's starting to seem to be that way.
Mm-hmm. It will be a little challenge for for the liberals. The white plus East Asian, W plus EA supremacy. They have to create some a narrative like that. So anyway, I'm trying to referring to Paul Scalzon's book, The Leap of the 5,000 Years, and then talk about the founding fathers, how they see this matter, how do they see equality. All men are created equal, right? That is in the Declaration of Independence. All men are created equal. So what is really equal? What is equality? And the founding fathers said this. We found this nation for freedom. As long as there's freedom, there's equality. There's inequality. As long there's freedom, there's inequality. Okay, right? Because we got the freedom, we can study hard, or we don't have to study hard, and we can start our business, or we may not have to. So as long as we have freedom to show what we can do, then there will be inequality in result. So all men are created equal was never meant to refer to the equal in result, equal in fortune, equal in capability. It's talk about equal in rights. So in the eyes of the founding father, there are three equality, as referred, meant by the all men are created equal. First, in front of the God, every person is equal. The second, in front of the law, everybody is equal. The third, in terms of the protection of one's right, everybody is equal. Not the result, not the fortune, not the math, not the capability, not the chance to go to Ivy school. I don't know why Ivy school matters now, but this is really just a misconception, misnotion. And such policy are just so ridiculous. Kathy her chemistry is way better than Wei, when we were in our teens. And then now according to this math framework, I can be as good with Kathy in chemistry just as long as I find a good teacher.
Well, actually, you were discriminated by me.
Yeah.
Because I have a better chemistry.
A great nation like United States of America, we fought for this step, having this virtually anti-common sense, meaningless debate. It's right and wrong. It's clear cut. There's no ambiguity here. Okay, but that's what our nation come to.
Yeah.
Because ultra leftists, they really they want to destroy everything, the infrastructure, the framework, the fabric of our society.
Yeah, and basically they just try to look at everything from the lens of race, and so that they can create two classes, right? Victim class and the supreme class, the suppression class. and that in that way they can grab the power. So basically, from this end, it's the same as the communists in China. It's just in China, way you said, right? The Chinese Communist government already grabbed the power. So why they don't? In China, we do have those gifted programs. Indeed, someone may ask, oh, even China has that. Even Chinese Communist government have this common sense. No, actually, they want this gifted class is because they want some, the people, the students to be to master those science technologies to work for them so that they can strengthen the power.
So they can create missiles that aim at America.
Right.
They already got the power. They don't need to do this, okay? But the thing is, in the United States, the ultra-leftists, they haven't got the power. So they have to find all kinds of ways, anti-common sense way, the so-called political correctness, that kind of method to destroy the fabric of our society so that they can get the power.
Yeah,
After they get the power, they're gonna have these gifted classes because they need somebody to, they need those kids to work for them.
Right, and what they exploit is people's compassion, people's kindness. Right, they started with using people's kindness. Right, you have to help the disadvantaged, privileged people,
Yeah.
right? So a lot of our fellow Americans just fall into that trap. Say, oh yes, we have to help them, right? So yeah, we have to understand what's really behind it.
Evil deeds in the name of goodness. That's just the trademark action, activity, behavior of the communists. I think we're getting a little.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So the Arizona election auditing, actually that was quite a bit of news. So very shortly, Department of Justice, they step in and then they raise reasons that saying that the audit has problems, and the reason was so ridiculous, and I don't know. So maybe we can talk about it next time.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah,
and I saw some comments about our announcement of changing the name of the channel. So obviously, really, a lot. I think Louis was asking why you change and after you already established a brand name.
Yeah, we understand that. Yeah,
right.
really, I hope.
But he also said that he's gonna still support us.
Thank you. Yeah, please stay by, and we do change that to conform to the fact better, and our mission, our course of our plan. Hasn't changed a bit.
Yeah, nothing else will change. It's just we try to live up to what our channel tried to deliver. So we are not really doing a lot of the news reporting every day, which we hoped to do that in the first place. So we thought it's more appropriate just to change to the We and the Kathy report.
Okay.
And hopefully we will, be able to bring you the more regular, more frequent news down the road.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then okay, let me see. How about the joke today?
Oh yes, joke time.
Okay, all right. So not joke
right.
time, not joke. The parrot story.
Okay.
Okay, remember Jimmy? You should know Jimmy now, right? Jimmy has a donkey and he has a parrot, and the parrot, he spent a lot of money
Buddy.
on that. Yeah, Buddy, the parrot's name is Buddy. And okay, so this is the story. Jimmy also, believe it or not, besides the donkey and the parrot, he also have a dog. The dog is a very...
Oh, a dog?
Well, yeah, a very big and ferocious German Shepherd.
Okay.
His name is Charlie.
Charlie.
Yeah,
okay.
his name is Charlie. So one day, Jimmy just asked how the cleaner come to his house because he has to go work, right? He give the key to the cleaner and ask her to take care of things and so that he can, basically Jimmy's single. Okay, got a little mess at home.
Okay.
So he need a cleaner to clean up everything. Oh, the cleaner, I'm sorry, cleaner is a man, is a male. The cleaner came. And then Jimmy tried to explain how to do the job, what to watch out for, and the cleaner was really afraid of the big German Shepherd. Mm-hmm. All right, he said, "Oh, You are not here. I came in. Could he bite me? He said, no, don't worry about it. The shepherd, his name is Charlie. Charlie really behaved well. Okay, don't even worry about him. Okay, even the Charlie was so big and looks so scary. But you need to be careful with this parrot.
Oh.
The cleaner said, okay, really? What do you mean by careful? No matter what the parrot say, don't retort, don't answer back. That's simple.
Yeah, it sounds okay.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, the cleaner agreed. On that day, and the cleaner came over here, 10 o'clock, opened the door, started cleaning up things. And then the parrot, Jimmy, the parrot, over the time, as you see, right, he learned things, learned how to speak, learned from the restaurant owner, and learned from the Jimmy himself. Yeah, he's become much, smarter. And so the buddy keep talking about the cleaner. He said, your hair is so messy. How could it be that way? Your clothes is dirty. As a cleaner, you should be clean yourself.
Oh, it's really just all over here.
Yeah,
huh?
your shoe is not bright enough. So you should take care of your shoes to earn the trust of your employer. And things like that.
Wow, he learned a lot. He knows a lot of things.
But
okay.
The cleaner, remember the warning of the owner, right? So you just ignore the buddy and then just keep vacuum things, clean up things. But the buddy did not give up. Just keep coming, just picking on him.
Oh.
So finally, it went on for so long, the cleaner really, really cannot bear with it. And the cleaner just turned his head, looked at the buddy, and then shouted, "Shut up, you idiot parrot!"
Oh.
Okay, he retorted, right? And then, you know what happened? So the buddy was really startled and just took back a little bit. He took him back a little bit. And then, the next thing he said is, "Charlie, bite him!"
That's why.
Okay, hope that gave you some light spirit at the late night. And okay, thank you very much. We'll be here on Monday. And thank you very much.
And the weekend is Mother's Day.
Yeah,
so
hope
wish you a happy Mother's Day.
Remember to call your mother, or how to say, or I wish you got a call if you are a mother from your boy or girls. And thank you for staying with us. Okay, really appreciate it. And please, everybody has pressed likes. Thank you so much. You guys are so great. And okay, until Monday.
Yeah, take care.
Take care.
Bye-bye.